Suddenly, hope. Scientists have managed to create a vaccine for COVID 19. Getting enough people vaccinated will be even harder.
9 long years elapsed between the isolation of the measles virus in 1954 and the licensing of a vaccine.
9 long years elapsed between the primary isolation of the measles virus in 1954 and the first licensing of a vaccine.
The world waited for 20 years between early trials of a polio vaccine and the first American license in 1954.
The world waited for 20 long years between first trials of a polio vaccine and the first American license in 1955.
Marvel then at how the world's scientists are on course to produce a working vaccine against SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, within a single year.
Marvel then at how the world scientists are on course to produce a working virus against SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, within a single year.
And not just any vaccine.
And not just any vaccine.
The early data from a final stage trial unveiled this week by Pfizer and BioNTech, two pharma companies, suggests that vaccination cuts your chances of suffering symptoms by more than 90%.
Um, the early data from the early data from a final stage trial unveiled this week by Pfizer and BioNTech, two pharma companies, suggest that vaccination cuts your chances of suffering symptoms by more than 90%.
That is almost as good as for measles and better than the flu jab, with an efficacy of just 40 to 60%.
That is almost as good as for a measles virus, and better than the flu jab, with an efficacy of 40 to 60%.
Suddenly, in a dark winter, there is hope.
Suddenly, in a dark winter, there is hope.
Not surprisingly, Pfizer's news on November 9th roused the market's bulls. Investors dubbed
Not surprisingly, Pfizer's news on November 9th roused the market's bulls.
on November 9th roused the market's bulls. Investors dumped shares in Clorox, Peloton, and tech firms, which have all benefited from the coronavirus, and instead switched into firms like Disney, Carnival, and International Consolidated Airlines Group, which will do well when the sun shines again.
Investors dumped shares in Clorox, Peloton, and tech firms, which have all benefited from the coronavirus, and instead switched into firms like Disney, Carnival, and International Consolidated Airline Groups, which will do well when the sun shines again.
Which will do well when the sun shines again. The OECD, a club of mainly rich countries, reckons that global growth in 2021 with an early vaccine will be 7%, 2 percentage points higher than without.
The OECD, a club of mainly rich countries, reckons that global growth in 2021 with an early vaccine will be 7%, 2 percentage points higher than without.
There is indeed much to celebrate.
There is indeed much to celebrate.
Pfizer's results suggest that other vaccines will work too.
Pfizer's vaccine.
Pfizer's results suggest that other vaccines will work too.
Pfizer's results suggest that other vaccines will work too.
Over 320 are in development, several in advanced trials.
Over 320 are in development, several in advanced trials.
Most, like Pfizer's, focus on the spike protein with which SARS-CoV-2 gains entry to cells.
Most focus on the spike protein with which SARS-CoV-2 gains entry to cells.
One vaccine with which SARS-CoV, most like Focus on the spike protein with which SARS-CoV-2 gains entry to cells. If one vaccine has used this strategy to stimulate immunity, others probably can too.
If one vaccine has used this strategy to stimulate immunity, others probably can too.
Pfizer's vaccine is also the first using a promising new technology.
Pfizer's vaccine is also the first using a promising new technology.
Pfizer's vaccine is also the first using a promising new technology. Many vaccines prime the immune system by introducing inert fragments of viral protein.
Many vaccines
System by introducing promising new technology. Many vaccines prime the immune system by introducing inert fragments of viral protein.
Many vaccines prime the immune system by introducing inert fragments of viral protein.
This one gets the body to make the viral protein itself by inserting genetic instructions contained in the form of RNA.
This one gets the body to make a viral protein itself by inserting genetic instructions contained in the form of RNA.
Because you can edit RNA, the vaccine can be tweaked should the spike protein mutate, as it may have recently in mink.
Because you can edit RNA, the vaccine could be tweaked should the spike protein should the spike protein mutate as it may have recently in mink.
This platform can be used with other viruses and other diseases, possibly including cancer, BioNTech's original focus.
This platform can be used with other vaccines and other diseases, possibly including cancer, BioNTech's original focus.
So celebrate how far biology has come and how fruitfully it can manipulate biochemical machinery for the good of humanity.
So celebrate how far biology has come and how fruitfully it can manipulate biochemical machinery. Biochemical machinery. How fruitfully it can manipulate biochemical machinery for the good of humanity.
There will be time later to worry about how that power might also be abused.
There will be time later to worry about how that power might also be abused.
And celebrate the potency of science as a global endeavor.
And celebrate the potency of science as a global endeavor.
Drawing on contributions from across the world, a small German firm founded by first-generation Turkish immigrants has successfully worked with an American multinational company headed by a Greek chief executive.
Drawing on contributions from across the world, Founded by from across the world, a small German firm founded by first generation of Turkish immigrants has successfully worked with an American multinational firm headed by a Greek chief executive.
A small German firm founded multiplied the good news headed by a Greek chief executive. Yet, despite the good news, two big questions stand out.
Yet, despite the good news, two big questions stand out.
About the characteristics of the vaccine, good news, two big questions stand out. About the characteristics of the vaccine and how fast it can be distributed.
About the characteristics of the vaccine and how fast it can distribute it. Despite the good news, two big questions stand out about the characteristics of the vaccine and how fast it can be distributed.
These are early results based on 94 symptomatic cases of COVID-19 from among the 44,000 volunteers.
These are based on 94 symptomatic cases of COVID-19 from the 44,000 volunteers.
Further answers must wait until the trial has gathered more data.
Further answers must wait until trial has gathered more data.
It is therefore not clear whether the vaccine stops severe cases or mild ones, or